We actually moved from Rawalpindi and went to Lahore, and I was enrolled in another school. It's a private school for the blind in Lahore. Lahore is the second largest city in Pakistan. I was fortunate enough to go to that school, and they have state-of-the-art technology and braille books and everything. There, I was introduced to basic typing and screen readers. So after getting the intro from that, when I graduated, I always was passionate to study computer science. So since a lot of the colleges would not permit me to take science subjects in Pakistan, that motivated me that I think I can do them, and they just don't believe that I can because I've been blind all my life. So to me it came naturally. I mean, there are obviously some disadvantages to but you can always turn those disadvantages into opportunities. So I don't think I don't think I would have been in the U.S. if I wasn't blind. So I mean, I take that as a blessing and an opportunity. I think I had a British accent back then.
You did
before I came to the U.S. and that's how Jan. That's why Jan fell in love with me.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Had lots of braille books that I read, and I had bought them, so I read them and I wasn't using them anymore, and so I put it on the list. Hey, look, I've got lots of braille books that need a new home.
So I said, well, yeah, I mean, there's a huge shortage or lack of braille books in Pakistan. I mean, I'll take them, and these are very valuable resources. Why would you throw them away?
This first question I asked I was like, well, they're in English, right? Can you read English braille? It's like, of course, I wouldn't have asked you.
That's how we started communicating. She asked some questions about my country. I told her, hey, I could help you learn the language if you're interested. And once you start learning the language, I think people become close to each other. Some things are hard to say in English, so some of those things you can only say in your own language or express better in your own language.
Every single thing is a compromise, or every single thing is a discussion, and we have to come to some type of agreement on it.
So I try and find ways to kind of incorporate things in. I could say I probably am not as successful, like I don't speak Urdu to the children.
We talk to them in my language, so while they don't converse back with me in as much, I mean they do sometimes, Azan does, but not as much.
Getting better.
Yeah, but they understand it considerably, so that's satisfactory enough for me, because it's a language that is so closely connected with the culture that you are part of. बैठ जा मेरा बेटा. कौन सी वाली बुक सुनाओ आपको बताइए, कौन सी पिक करो उसमें से. अब्बू के साथ बैठना, इधर बैठना.
I want
Monster वाली.
No, this one.
कौन सी ये वाली? ये कौन सी है?
And if I speak Urdu to Azan, he'll say, no, that's not the mommy, don't speak, that's not the way mommy speak.
I've tried cooking Pakistani food.
I don't cook. Jan has learned to cook several Pakistani dishes.
Imran is nice when he says I can cook some, because I never get the spices right.
Hot and spicy, delicious.
And even when I do, then it's too spicy for me, not spicy enough for him.
Anytime I can lay my hands on spicy South Asian food, I go for it.
Try to incorporate music. I do have the bansuri, which is the Indian flute.
It's not a Western flute, because here in the West we usually see the metal flute. It's a wooden flute, so it was very difficult for me to secure when we went to Pakistan. But I finally found it for her because that was one of her requests. No, beta, isko chhod de. Mama ki, ye mama ki hai beta.
It's really hard to incorporate two cultures into one, especially if the dominant culture is the American culture.
So my goal is not to keep them from American culture, but at the same time introduce them to my culture, because they won't see that outside of the house. And I'm generally a bit more outgoing, and I like making friends, so it didn't take me too long to make some friends in the US too.
I'm the driver friend, and since I met Imran, we had the first thing in common was the computer. So if I need help with computers, I can ask him, and then we talk about all kinds of things. He ended up to be one of my best friends.
The first time I met him in the mosque, Al-Haq Mosque,
and realized that we are from the same city.
I mean, it was really interesting for me, and And after that, I asked him, where do you live? And he said, his father business is close by my house.
So since we've become pretty close friends,
And now we are like the family members.
I mean, he often like asks for my advice when it comes to computers or when it comes to like getting any if he has any financial question, if there is any specific deals. Like, you know, we as immigrants are very thrifty and we like to save, you know, so
He might have some needs he cannot explain to others. He can directly explain to me, so we can figure out how we can resolve sometime issues, sometime different things comes up in your life, you never know.
So when I came to the US and got formal computer education, I was looking for a job after I graduated, and fortunately I found a job here at Bosma. And one of the things that Bosma does is they help people who lose their sight later on in life to become independent again.
I see the independence that all the things he can do with his phone.
So anytime you touch the screen, for example, it draws a box around it. So the screen would actually, so for somebody who's sighted, they can tell like the icon is highlighted, but I can then double tap anywhere. I don't have to actually double tap where the icon is. I can double tap anywhere on the screen and activate the icon. So that's to open up the phone, for example.
And he can help me with my websites, even though he can't see them, the programming. And Google doesn't look at the pictures, it looks at the words.
I've always like helped other folks, like, you know, who are new to computers, even when I was in Pakistan, you know, on how to do certain tasks on the computer, how to send emails, how to go to the internet, things like that. People who are totally blind like me, they use what is called a screen reader that talks, you know, so anything that appears on the screen is spoken out loud. So it's talking pretty fast. I mean, I have gotten used to how quickly it speaks, but you can adjust the speech rate easily. So you can be as slow as like a drunken man. I mean, sometimes you don't even realize what the transition happens over time, subtle changes. So I think if you know language, that gives, I mean, if you have decent mastery over the language of the country you're going to, I think that really helps you understand the subtle changes and things or differences in the other culture, and it helps you filter out what you should adopt and what you should let go, you know. So
I mean, human has a lot of tolerance. He can adjust in any weather, any culture, any situation. He has given a lot of abilities.
Yeah, I think he's learned a lot of like English nuances, my jokes and humor. He's picking up on that.
It takes time to adjust in the different culture, but I mean, it's a human nature. He can adjust anywhere. Like he can tolerate the different weather.
People want to try too hard to fit in or try not at all to fit in, and so that's a barrier for a lot of the immigrants sometimes.
When Imran said, "Hey, I think I want to be a natural helper. Do you want to do it too?" I was kind of like, "Wow, well, yeah, let's go." While
I know a lot of resources, I think getting formal education and getting access to all the tools that they have, you know, and therefore serving other immigrants better.
And it was really fun for us to do it together because I don't speak another language. I see Imran and my participation kind of as a team effort.
Jan and I, like, you know, we have always enjoyed, you know, in our previous lives, you know, me in Pakistan, while she was in Greensburg, you know, we've always enjoyed like meeting new people from other cultures.
If he thinks, well, what can we do? How can we help this? You know, I have solution, or I can say, well, what about this? What about that? How does this work? So we tend to kind of work off of each other as a team, and that's a great thing.